Hello and welcome to our latest edition of the Engine-ius film review. I am in the hot seat this week, literally the hot seat, because I'm usually sweating so much to deal with the technology. And in the background, you can hear some of our guests, some of our surprise guests. So without further ado, let me introduce you to this week's guest speakers with me, and I'm delighted that this week we are joined by Alex Rowland. Alex and Alex's fan club, I should say. Yeah, in there. Fantastic. So, of course, we did see you in our previous kind of episode because, of course, well, you explain how come you know Phil and Ali. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil. Wonderful. Great. And also with us this week, delighted to welcome back the person who's going to be taking over the hot seat from me going forward because my blood pressure can't cope. No, not really. But it's Alisa. Alisa, keeping? How have you been keeping, Alisa? Okay. Well, on the subject of watching films, Alex, what films have you been kind of watching in the last week during lockdown? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ah, oh, are the posh seats the ones towards the back? No way. Oh, okay. But 1917, so recommended. Okay. Elisa, what have you been watching in this last week that you would like to recommend? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes. I watched that. So, yeah. So, I mean, I was kind of already in awe of her anyway, but that film confirmed it. Really did. So, her presence, she's just, yeah. Yeah, I was taking notes. Yeah. Yeah. She's amazing. Well, like you, I have been on the Netflix mostly. I gotta confess, um, and a lot of romantic comedies, which is not normally my thing. But um, I did actually start watching Children of Men again, not a romantic comedy, obviously, um, and. And literally, kind of in the opening 5 minutes, it starts talking about how the fact that the infertility rate in the world has dropped due to a flu pandemic, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot that bit last time." Okay, and yeah, got so far into it, and then just kind of, no, yeah, I'm gonna have to put this one on stop now. But no, I've been watching a little bit of Meg Ryan. So When Harry Met Sally, You've Got Mail. I don't know why. I'm yeah, but and I really enjoyed them. But the one that I found on Netflix that I've absolutely loved is Agnes Varda with the artist slash photographer J.R. Places Faces, or is it Faces Places? I think it's Places Faces. Highly recommended. Anyway, enough of that. On to the film that we should be talking about, Peanut Butter Falcon, which was an independent film and became a bit of a surprise box office success to critical acclaim. But never mind the critics. What did we think about it? But I better just give you a bit of a recap. So this film is about a young man called Zach who has Down syndrome. He lives in an assisted living complex with older people. He is passionate about wrestling and decides to run away from the centre that he's living in, and goes encounters a character called Tyler, and they go off on an adventure together. And I'm not going to tell you anything more. But first, so Alex, the critics loved it. Did you love it? What did you think about it? Yeah. Oh, really? Mm, mm. Yeah. 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 Oh, wow. Oh, so yeah. No, 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 great. I want to come back to something as well, based on kind of your experience as well. But Elisa, so was it for you? Was this film too sickly sweet, or did it resonate as truthful for you? Mm. Yeah, I get the sense that this was quite a, was a very personal project, as well as noticing that Zach, the character is also called Zach, but also Tyler's character. I wonder if it's named after the writer slash director, who's also called Tyler. Um, but I agree with you. I thought the performances were superb. There were two standout scenes for me. Um, the the one around the campfire, and I saw an interview with the three lead actors afterwards, and it sounded as though they really took the time to build their relationships both on and off screen. And I think it really shows in that scene. They clearly had a whole lot of fun filming that scene. But the other one, interestingly, that stood out for me, where I really, really felt, what the characters were feeling, and that's the one where they are on the boat when they first build their raft and they head off down the river, and Zach has his arm around Shia LaBeouf, around Tyler, the character Tyler, and there is just a beautiful moment of connection there. And when I watched the interview with them afterwards, apparently, so during this time, Shia LaBeouf was arrested. It's apparently it's documented out there that he was having a problem with his drinking. He had been arrested, and he had shouted racist abuse at someone, and it hit the headlines. And when he got back to set, there was a real kind of, everyone kind of knew that this had happened, and it was Zach who reached literally metaphorically and physically reached out to Shire in that scene, and we absolutely see it there, that connection between them as both actors and as human beings. Um, it was really lovely. It did. I have to say, from the off, like Alex said, it is. You do know what's going to happen, but um, in the way of kind of Disney used to kind of have this where you knew emotionally the roller coaster that they were about to take you on, but the filmmaking was always so good that you just allowed yourself to kind of go with it. And that's kind of what it reminded me of, those sorts of films, and to the point where I kind of even forgave them for the slightly over the top moment that's towards the end of the film that I don't want to spoil for you, for wrestling fans out there. I wouldn't want to ruin that moment for you. But it was, and I think part of that lay in the grittiness of the South. But I wonder whether that is that my perception of what the Deep South is, because I've watched a lot of films set in the Deep South, and they're always a little bit, gritty and well, certainly the soundtrack is very much it kind of in keeping with that. I wonder if people from the South kind of go, oh, hey, yeah, here we go. You know, here's how we're being portrayed again. But it absolutely worked for that movie. Now, when I was watching the film, obviously, it's about a young man with Down syndrome, and we've recently worked with Ups and Downs Southwest and produced a couple of films with them, and obviously, in terms of jump cuts, we've done lots of films with and for adults with learning difficulties, and some of those will have Down syndrome. So I kind of afterwards, I researched what other films, there might be, because it's that thing of I'd heard about Peanut Butter Falcon, hadn't got around to watching it, and so wondered whether there were more kind of, the sort of whether there were more titles that kind of explored this as a subject. And so I did a Google for films about people with Down syndrome, clicked on a link to IMDb, and up came a list of IMDb. And when you do a search on IMDb for films, what comes at the top is some keywords. And I was really shocked to see that some of the keywords, and this is featured very early on in the film, was actually the use of the phrase mentally retarded. Yeah, and it really shocked me that, and obviously this isn't a film that's set like 20 years ago. This is a current, this is a contemporary film, and they still use that phrase within the film. And so, and I would, like I say, I was really shocked to see that it was tagged with that phrase. Is that still an issue, Alex? Is that something that people you work with are still experiencing? Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Mm. Mm. No, no, no. Yeah. 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 No, no, no. But it's. I think. Yeah, you're right. It's all about the individual, and the beauty is that films like this show. It's all about stories, isn't it? It's all about telling stories, and then there are a lot more great stories, kind of out there, and how important it is to see, to see our peers on screen, to give them a voice, but to see our peers out. So I did find, I did find a big long list of films. So I'm gonna I'm gonna start and go through some of those films. Yeah, yeah, I will. I'll post that link onto Facebook. And but what's the just to finish up, Alex? What's the next film that you are looking forward to watching? Oh, okay, new animation. Okay. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what you're willing to pay for the expensive seats for. I like it. Elisa, what about you? What are you looking forward to seeing next? Mhm. Cool. Yeah, and likewise, whilst I might not necessarily find the films on Netflix, but I know that there are a whole, because I listen to the BBC Radio 4's film programme, I know that there's a whole body of Agnes Varda's work out there on online platforms. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Alex and Elisa, for joining me today. Thank you so much. If you would like to be involved in the next edition of the Engine-ius Film Review, then get in touch. You can email us at info@ somersetfilm.com, or just leave a message on one of our social media channels, and we will get back to you. Or perhaps you would like to nominate the next film that we review. If so, likewise, do get in touch. Thank you all, and speak to you soon. Bye.